in.
Yeah, all right. Well, this looks nice.
It is. And hello, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
And welcome back to another episode of We've Got This Maybe, the podcast. We're in our 40s.
Oh my goodness, is this the 40th?
No, 41st.
Stop it.
41st.
You're so good at remembering the number. I'm like, oh my God, did we just...
You believe that? 41 episodes now.
Very proud.
I know.
I'm very proud. I think we've stuck to it. You know, I think we've had a couple of hiccups over the last couple of months, but that's it. We've been rather good.
It's good. And I think it just shows, like, when you put your mind to it, you commit, and actually when you enjoy doing something, like throughout everything else that's going on, like you can find time to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Completely. I think this has been good for both of us. I think we've basically just created a podcast for ourselves for therapy. That's all it is, really.
And that, do you know what though? But when anyone asks me about the podcast, I'm like, oh, it's a passion project. It's like, it just feels like therapy. Like all we do is sit and just like chat about stuff that we chat about anyway. And we're doing it, and we're, you know, people are engaged and people are finding it useful, which then, you know, inspires us to like carry on doing it, which I love.
Yeah. And I think that's where kind of, you know, we wanted the listeners to get involved, and that's where it's so great when we do get those messages through, because we started this going, it can't surely just be us that are thinking this.
I know, right? And it can't be just us that is having this problem and that problem.
Yeah.
And I guess that's, you know, I'm segueing in as I always do, but
love it.
You know, just leading us into this conversation, like we thought today, we just feel like we've got so much that we could just debrief. Like it feels like it's been just like really busy recently, like so much going on, like so much blah.
Yeah, and I think sort of and you know, we've talked before about the invisible load that, you know, mums have and the invisible load that parents have, and I think that actually does go broader than just parents, but you know, the things that we always don't think about and how overwhelming they can be when they all come at once. And, you know, how do people cope with that? Do they absorb it and just kind of shove it under the rug and just, you know, keep going? Or does it overwhelm them?
Yeah.
You know?
Like this season, I always find is quite overwhelming for like most people. But I feel like everybody has those few months of the year where like everything happens. So like for me, it's, you know, that February into March and like around Easter, I find like so super busy because you've just come off Christmas and then you've got like that 1 month respite.
Yeah.
And then we're like so quickly into Rory's birthday, then my birthday, then Freddie's birthday, and then Easter, and then you've got half term, and actually you've got another half term in February as well. And that period of time, the house insurance is usually due and the car insurance is usually due at that time. So do you know what I mean? It's just never ending. There's something to be doing all of the time. And then this time of year, you've just done some holidays, you've got into the swing of school, you're then on half term, you come back, you've then got Halloween, you've then got half term again. And then you're on Christmas. Like, how many school events have we had going on in the last 3 weeks?
Unreal. How many? And again, like this week, there's 3 this week.
So yeah, so many. So you've got whatever celebration it was, we've got culture celebration, nativity next week.
Oh, is that next week? Oh, geez.
Halloween 3 weeks ago, then bonfire night.
Yeah. And that's where, again, I think it's, as adults, as parents, you know, you need to be responsible. You need to make sure these things are done, and you don't want to feel guilty or make the child feel sad that you haven't made the effort. But then it can be so overwhelming. Like you're saying about having those birthdays in succession, you know, you barely get a breather.
No. And then, you know, financial as well. Like this is a really busy time for you, birthday wise, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that sort of triggered us to have these conversations was, you know, the other week, you know, I rang you and just said, I can't do podcasting tonight. I'm not in the right headspace. And again, it came from the fact that I was just feeling too overwhelmed. And I knew for my sanity, I needed to say no, even though I didn't want to. And it actually took Lawrence telling me.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, no, I want to see Erin. I need to see Erin. And then he was like, what you need is a really calm, go have a shower, get into your pajamas. And he said, you need to just relax. He said, everything's got on top of you and you just need to take a moment. And I was like, no, don't. I need to do the podcast. It'll help. It'll help. And he, and again, in my head, I truly knew I shouldn't do it. But you get so overwhelmed because you want to deliver, you want to help, you want to make sure that you're delivering whatever it is that you need to do. But sometimes it is too much.
But it is hard, right? So, however many weeks ago it is now, I've totally lost count, 3-4 weeks ago, you spent however many weeks planning your Halloween party. That in itself is stressful because you're putting on something for other people as well, and then you're worrying about their enjoyment and, the kids and this, you've got the food, you've got everything going on, right? And then you've got work. And then you're juggling that. And then you're trying to remember everything that's going on at school. And then you're planning Sophia's birthday party. And then you're planning the other kids' birthday parties.
Yeah. And it's sort of, you always try to get ahead, don't you? You always try and be ahead of everything. But it doesn't always work. Life doesn't work that way. Sometimes it will throw you curveballs. Things will happen in your lives where you just can't. And I think it is really sensible sometimes to really kind of admit when you can't. But how do you deal with the guilt and the disappointment? Like, that's what is difficult.
And this is the thing, like, for me, it's when the kids come home and they have suffered is definitely like too strong a word to use here, but, suffered because of something I've forgotten because I've been doing something else. So, like, prime example, last week, obviously the kids have clubs after school on Tuesday. Both of mine have a football club. Trying as best as I can to pack all the stuff the night before because it's usually a day I go into work, into the office. And on those days, I always find it really frantic anyway because however organised you try to be,
oh God, yeah,
that morning rush is then even more of a rush and I leave before they do. So I really do try and do everything the night before. So then, that actual morning when Rory's like sorting that on his own, it's like less stressful for him because it can be like, really heightened. And then Freddie come home and Rory picked him up and he was wearing his football top, his football shorts, football boots and his school trousers. And he's like, Mummy, you forgot my shorts. I was like, oh no. So he'd been playing football in his school trousers. And like, he obviously felt pretty crap about that. Like, and he made a real thing about it. And like Rory had to like placate him by like giving him like a little chocolate or something. Then I felt even worse because I was thinking, oh God, like I've made such a show of him. And then the following week, he was like, make sure you don't forget my shorts, Mummy. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, I really tried my best. And it's like, when your best isn't good enough.
That's it. And I struggle with that. I really struggle, particularly with the kids. Like, how you're saying about football club, on Fridays they do football for games, right?
Oh, God, yes.
And you have to remember the boots. Now, I gave Sophia everything she needed apart from the boots. Lawrence had gone off to one of those shared working spaces to try and do some work, and he had the car. I had like a panic attack. I had an anxiety attack because I was so scared about, like you say, the impact on Sophia. I demanded Lawrence come home, pick up these football boots and take them to school. Now, ridiculously, they didn't wear the damn boots.
Of course they blooded you, Jen. Of course they blooded you. That's all over.
My anxiety, my shoulders were up. Like I had a tight chest.
Yeah.
The guilt was so high that I had forgotten, and I felt so, so bad. And I couldn't bear, like you say about, the experience that they will have with whatever it is that, we've missed. Like, I can't bear it.
No. And I had another example the other week. And I think we've spoken before about, how many strikes until you feel like I'm the worst parent ever. I think I told a story a little while ago about like all of these things that had happened. I was in the summer and it started off with the summer hat. And I didn't have the summer hat and all of this, but all of the kids had this, I don't know, this like, they called it like a lookbook thing at school for the old ones, like Freddie and Sophia's class. Wednesday, you know, peak work times, it was like 8:45 or something. I knew I couldn't go, and I knew Rory probably couldn't go because it was like a Wednesday. It's not a great day for us. Historically, they've separated kids whose parents that don't go to that, but this time they didn't. So I got a message from a friend halfway through the day that was sort of like, "Don't hate me, but feel like I need to tell you this." And I was like, "Oh God, what's happened?" And she was like, if it was me, I'd love to know, but Freddie was really upset that you didn't come to this lookbook thing today. And I was like, oh crap, okay, yeah, I remember it, but I knew we weren't going to go. I didn't think that too much of it. She then felt really awful for telling me that, but I was like, no, thank you, I appreciate it. Spoke to the teacher and he was like, yeah, that's fine, come in tomorrow morning and I'll go through the book with you. So I made it out to Freddie that, you know, your mummy gets special treatment, I get to come in on my own, one-on-one, you and the teacher. I rock up and the teacher said to me, oh yeah, Freddie was in floods of tears because you didn't come. And I was like,
oh my God, guilt central.
I was like, you certainly don't have children, do you? And I was like, at that point, I then had to bite my tongue a little bit, but I was like, do you not think you could have managed this situation totally different? Like there was only 2 or 3 children that didn't have their parents here. You could have taken them off, done something different. And maybe you should try and consolidate your events a little bit more because like every week, especially in this like Christmas term, there's so much going on. Like working parents, like do we need any more pressure than we've got already in like society today?
But that's it. And that's where there is this conflict between the working day and the school day. And I know there's a lot of people kind of talking and challenging it. But it does impact emotionally and mentally on both us and the kids.
The kids especially, because this is what I said to the teacher and this is what I've said to a few other parents I've spoken to is Freddie came away from there feeling like his mum or dad didn't care enough to come. And I know that feeling because when I was younger, my mum and dad worked full time. We've had this conversation before, and I can probably remember the 2 or 3 times in my whole primary school like learning period where my parents were able to come to an assembly, and I know how that felt, like your parent being the only one not coming. And I was just like, oh, school, come on, like we know better than this now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think there's a responsibility on the school. And again, look, we never want to get into like politics or anything like that on this podcast, but I think there is something around the sort of expectation on parents from the school's perspective, and there is like an ignorance of like working parents,
especially like in reality, right? Especially in the part of the world where we live, where like majority of people who do work, right? Yes, that a lot of them work from home now because that's just the setup. But those who don't often are traveling into London.
Correct.
Do you know what I mean? I actually don't know really any parent that I would say works locally. Like we don't live in that sort of area. It is a traveling sort of situation. So to have something which, you know, doesn't even start at drop-off time.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It just is, I just feel like it's unreasonable.
Yeah. No, I think there is a real risk of emotional kind of, I don't want to say damage, but impact that can come from the expectation of kids wanting parents there and their parents not being able
to be
because we're trying to, run the house, run our lives, and we're trying to do
money to keep them alive. But all the conversation of children, it just reminded me, like, we're a bit flip-flopping here, but you were telling me just before a really funny story where we were talking about like the impact of children. And at your Halloween party, what one of the kids said to you about well, I wasn't there at this point, but
No, we can't blame you, Erin. No,
the other adults and they're partying.
Yes, my wonderful 10-year-old Maxwell, bless him. I think we're at the embarrassing stage where parents are embarrassing him a little more than normal. He's grown up knowing that me and Lawrence enjoy having a get together, and I mean, I know we sit here every week on week with, a glass of wine, but we don't go. We're not massive drunks, but at the same time, we do like to have a little dance. We're very expressive with our dancing, and sometimes you can't help but move when you got Spice Girls on. It's just that way. Anyway, so Maxwell stormed out of the Halloween sort of disco area in the kitchen because he was like, oh, so embarrassing. Oh my God, like, I hate drunk people. And we had a chat about it afterwards. Oh my goodness. Like, we had to explain to him that, it's actually escapism. It's actually just having fun, letting your hair down, just letting loose.
Yeah.
And I said, also, we don't have any shame.
Yeah. Well, and that's it. That's the biggest thing. But like, it is embarrassing. Like, parents, adults generally can be really embarrassing for children. But, let's just like set the scene. Like, you had fangs in, you had your Halloween costume on. We had like various different looks going on. Like, for like a child, they're probably like, what on earth is this? He was there for Haribo's, that was it.
Well, that's it. He was definitely motivated by the trick or treating. I don't think he was motivated by much else. But I think it's good exposure. Again, it'd be interesting if the listeners have an opinion on this. But to me, and again, we've sort of talked about the way that our parents entertained when we were younger. And I believe that exposing the kids to socialization in a healthy way is a really good thing, because then they know what's too much and what's not.
Yeah.
They're comfortable with it. They don't get too overstimulated or overwhelmed. They can see how adults can interact on a really healthy social level where it isn't just all crazy, lager louts or, I'm going a bit extreme here, but, people who kind of take it too far.
Yeah.
And I do think within the safety of your home, if you've got the space, I'm very aware that, not everybody has the ideal situation. But I think, again, as much as he's embarrassed, I do think it was a good opportunity. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for them to see how it's done.
Well, exactly. Like, this is the benchmark. But I remember like two sorts of like social sort of things my parents had when I was younger. So occasionally they would do like a dinner party, and I've got like vivid memories of like when my mum would set out like the Bombay mix and the peanuts before everyone came, and I would be like going at the Bombay mix. I loved it. Like, there wouldn't be anything. And then my mum would make like a cheesecake or whatever, and like they'd shoo us away before all the guests arrived. But this is at a stage where my mum and dad would be like entertaining downstairs, and me and my brother would like come down and sit on the stairs and just like,
exactly what I do,
and just listen like to what was going on. So funny. And the other sort of thing, and I think I can only appreciate this now as an adult, because this is absolutely the sort of things that we do, is like my auntie and uncle would come over with my cousins, and they lived a little while away, so they'd usually stay overnight, and my parents and like them would stay up getting like absolutely trying, playing board games. And I never really appreciated it. They always just had this one board game that they played, and I felt very civilized, Monopoly, something like that. But no, it was like an absolutely like piss up, like drinking game sort of thing. And they'd all be a little worse for wear the next day. Do you know what I mean? But now I'm thinking, if I went away with my friends, or, we went on like a staycation or something, that is 100% what we'd do now.
Absolutely. That's exactly the way life goes now, isn't it? And that's the change.
And that's, it's so funny, like when you can actually put yourselves in like your parents' shoes. I don't ever remember like my family having like house parties. It was always like a little more civilized than that, I guess. But I can just imagine like your family would be like house party, house party.
Yes. I mean, I do have very fond memories as well, like you're saying about the dinner party when you sat at the top of the stairs.
It's funny.
I remember having, you know, like real kind of moments of can I sneak downstairs, especially when they cleared away, and I'm like, I want to go see what the food was.
Yeah,
like,
what's going on?
So again, I've got really fond memories of that. But yes, mum and dad were absolutely just. I think my mum and dad taught me how to throw a party. So, but
Right.
you know, and again, it's not a party as in like, you know, in a club or in a, I don't know, higher hall or whatever. It was a house party. But and again, they come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
But it's again that safety that you can bring to kids by having that kind of collective socializing happening in a space where they can get away. They can go to their safe space. So like the boys had their room, they can go upstairs and hide in their room and play PlayStation till God knows what hour, because we were obviously having fun downstairs. You know, the kids are safe. You know, they're in a safe environment. You're not constantly watching them going, oh my God, they're going on the stage. Someone get them off the stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. And there's like they can chill if they want, they can play if they want, they can go wild if they want. That
Yeah. And what was really curious, I didn't tell you this actually, I know we keep harping on about something that's happened weeks ago, but what was really interesting at Halloween party, I suddenly realized that I've never thrown a Halloween party for kids. And I was like, oh, this is very much based around dancing and barbecue. And I was like, oh, okay, we need to have some activities for kids. So I thought, right, I'll make the living room where we are now like a nice safe zone. We'll have some Hotel Transylvania on. Yeah. They can watch a movie. We'll get all the Hot Wheels out for the boys.
Yeah.
And then we'll get some activities out. Like literally, I just printed off a load of printables.
Yeah.
And put some colouring pencils out. Obsessed.
Yeah.
The kids loved it.
But that's the thing, it's so like low key. Like you don't need to go crazy all in. I've learned that generally just in life. And that is the one thing I'm thinking about in the lead up to Christmas. And this definitely isn't a Christmas conversation, but low key, like the kids really don't want anything. Like Freddie was writing his Christmas list the other day, and I thought there was one thing really on that list that I was thinking, okay, like maybe I'll buy that. But outside of that, some pencils and some erasers.
Oh,
do you know, he'd quite like stuff like that. Probably a word search.
Sophia loves a word search.
Do you know what I mean? Looking at like a book, obviously like some toys, maybe something for the bath. But like they don't appreciate the value of it anyway. And you know, if Sophia is anything like my two, is they tend to love the things that cost nothing as opposed to the spenny thing. No? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the child who wanted Dua Lipa to do a concert for her birthday.
Fine, all right, fine.
So we had to bring her down from the like 12.5 million that it would cost to get Dua Lipa to perform.
But she doesn't appreciate that Costco. But what she's thinking is...
No idea.
...is I just want somebody to sing at my birthday.
Well, this is true. To be fair, she would have probably had a tribute act quite well, you know, welcomed that. But
a great party. We've said this a few times. That does sound like a great party.
Yeah, Sophia has got, I think we do need to sort of bring her down to the realms of normality sometimes. I mean, what I do love about her is that she isn't kind of the typical kid. You know, the typical, oh, I want to like have princesses all the time. I want to play with dolls and things like that. She's not a typical girl. She loves dinosaurs and playing with cars, but then she will do the whole pink glitter thing. But again, she's just I do really respect her for her own very individual choices.
But like I say that her tomboy nature is probably because she's got two brothers.
Yeah. But also, if you look at naturally her friends at school, you know, she's got a lot more kind of she's friendly more with the boys than she is the girls. And I mean, whether scientifically this means anything, who knows? But again, it's, you know, I think she's just very open. She, you know, she realizes that sort of some things she just likes it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter, you know. But yes, I think I'd love her to want pencils and erasers. That would be fabulous. You know,
but she would probably love and appreciate that anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is with her is that she makes stuff up. And I'm like, that isn't a thing. I can't get you that because that's not a thing.
No.
You know? So again, it's like, she was like, I would like a pink unicorn with a K-pop t-shirt. And they're going, that isn't a thing. I cannot do that.
Well, there you go. She can make her own line of stuff. So what else have you got going on in the next few weeks? Like, how are you managing your like stress, your workload, your house load, your life load?
That's a good question, Erin. Probably by messaging you.
No, don't. I'm so last minute. I'm forever on that WhatsApp group being like, oh yeah, thanks for the reminder. And as I've just said that, I've just remembered I haven't done something. I'm really sorry for anyone I owe money to for the kitty. It will come. It will come. I forgot. I forgot again. They even sent me a reminder. This is the thing. Like, it's just not top of my priority list. And what makes me feel really bad is contributing to that kitty is not top of my priority list, but the people that are organising that kitty, it's priority for them, and that's why I feel so awful.
So how do you run sort of those priorities? Do you have like a list on the fridge? Do you have like a reminder on your calendar? Do you just use like your noggin?
Yeah, I'm generally like,
I
will just remember. I flip between being really organised and very last minute. So my in-head preparation is very organised, but my execution is often quite last minute.
Mm-hmm.
So Christmas, for example, presents, I have a list. I'm starting to make a list of things that I think I can get to like the children or whatever, because I know people are going to be asking, what do the kids want? What do the kids want?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's fair just to say, oh, I don't know anything. Like, I may as well just give you a thing.
And also, you don't want them to get tut.
No,
you want something that the kids will want.
I would rather say, look, this is the section of the list I'm going to tell other people, you know, it's everything which is under £10, or do you know what I mean? And then this is the section that will say for us or for like a close family or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've got the list, but in terms of actually buying the gifts, it'll be week before Christmas. Like, seriously, like I'm quite non-committal like that.
And that's where we all thank the Lord for Amazon Prime.
My goodness. Or seriously, until, and this is one that we can start to finish on, like Amazon Prime is like the GOAT, right?
It's
the
lifesaver.
However, was it last week before? I can't remember. Whatever day we had to do Odd Socks Day, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mental health awareness.
Yeah, for anti-bullying, yeah.
Day before, I ordered from Amazon really nice set of multicolored stripy socks. I thought, my kids always miss out. Forget the shorts, forget this. Don't go to the lookbook. I'll get them all these nice socks they can wear. Ordered it the day before, got delivered. I was out, said it got delivered. Went to the neighbour, it said it got delivered to. Oh no, it didn't get delivered. And I was like, huh? It says it got delivered. And then my neighbour said to me, oh no, they tried to deliver here an unnamed parcel, so I just didn't accept it. And I was like, oh, you're actually joking me. I need them for tomorrow. I was like, that's where Amazon does like kill me sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, that it happens, doesn't it? And also, I mean, we could go to a whole nother episode about me moaning about Amazon, but again, with the timings, when you rely on that time frame, you know.
But then Rory said to me, Erin, you should have been more organised. I'm like, but it's Amazon.
Yeah, but again, organisation, you know, like we're saying about the invisible load, there is so much. I use, and again, we're not like promoting, we don't get like paid for any of this. I use Google Keep, which is a keep list, and it's basically, we can share it between Lawrence and I, and it's like we have like our shopping list and our to-do list on it.
Google Keep.
Yeah, and you can put tick boxes on. You can have links. So it just means that we have like an ongoing, say for example, if you're making a spag bol and you've used up all the tomato puree, we now, as soon as we've used it up, we'll put it on the keep list. So we know that's got to be bought the next time we're at the shops.
Oh, I'm going to look at this because Rory always is going on about like a good app that does the to-do list.
It's not perfect, but it helps. So like, for example, you know, when it came to sort of Halloween party or like Sophia's birthday or whatever, and I had to like have cash ready for the entertainers, or I had to have, you know, I had to pick up the delivery to Argos or whatever it was, I'd put a reminder on there, pick up prescription, pick up this. So again, on that Wednesday that I had, or whatever day it was planned to me to go out and do errands, it was all there.
That's how I operate my like work life. Like I have a to-do list. I think I should just do it
Yeah, it
more
does.
than
It helps my
totally.
sanity because, again, that would add to the overwhelmingness. So, like, when I called you the other week and I just said I couldn't do, the podcast stuff, that I took that keep list and went, right, what do I need to do? Why am I feeling so overwhelmed? And kind of try to organize and reprioritize, because you could have multiple lists.
Yeah.
It's like a pin board. So again, you can have multiple lists. So I've got all sorts of lists. And what's amazing is that I keep them year on year. So it means, like, for example, I've got a Christmas shopping list for food. So I just literally duplicate it the year on year.
Oh my God.
So I've got the same thing.
That's like, the notes in your phone.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like notes, but it's shareable.
So I've probably got like 20 million of the same sort of note, right? Christmas or Aldi or something like that, where I would keep my list. But then I do have like ones that I just like go back to and like just refresh.
Well, that's it, exactly. And I think, it's important for us to use whatever tools we have at our disposal to help us maintain a level of sanity,
Thrive well, because, we've got this. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I think this conversation is testament to that.
Yeah, and I think it's important just, I wanted to share what happened just to show that it does happen, and, it's okay that it happens, and it's okay to sort of navigate that in whichever way you have to. And maybe start a podcast like us.
Yeah. Just add more to your load. Well, on that note, love that one.
I love you, baby.
I'm glad I'm feeling better anyway.